Transmitting electronic protected health information or privileged legal client data to a third-party cloud API is a critical compliance failure. Air-gapping a system alone does not satisfy these requirements. Regulated businesses need a comprehensive, self-contained AI supercomputer that never dials home. Today, we are mapping out the complete 5-layer architectural blueprint for a 100% local, privacy-preserving AI stack. Prepare a blank whiteboard or open a checklist. We are going to build this cognitive infrastructure layer by layer. True AI sovereignty requires owning your organization's complete cognitive infrastructure, from the hardware at the base to the logic at the top. This diagram shows our stack. It starts with Layer 1, the infrastructure, using an offline environment managed by Kubernetes or Podman. To secure your software supply chain, use Harbor as a private registry and scan every artifact locally using Trivy and Cosign. Moving up, Layer 2 is the data plane. This handles the secure storage and processing of your firm's raw, private documents. Store your files in a system like MinIO. From there, shred common formats into raw text using Apache Tika and Tesseract. This text is then split into 2 distinct indexes for semantic retrieval, OpenSearch for keyword matching, and a vector database like Qdrant or pgvector. With this foundation, decades of raw records are indexed into a highly queryable, offline memory bank without ever touching the internet. Layer 3 is the inference engine. To run your models locally, you need a high-throughput server like vLLM or Hugging Face text generation inference. The next challenge is model selection. You must identify models that are highly capable but possess permissive, business-safe licenses. For text-based drafting and classification, use fully open models like Mistral 7B or OMO 2. For local transcription of sensitive meetings, Whisper is the standard. Be careful with the licensing trap. Popular models like Llama often have use-based restrictions and do not qualify as true OSI-approved open-source software. Layer 4 is the user interface. Your staff needs a self-hosted front-end like OpenWeb UI, where they can actually interact with the models. Selecting an OSI-approved brain and an offline interface prevents vendor lock-in and removes the legal liabilities tied to restrictive model licenses. A physically isolated server is not automatically compliant. If internal access is not restricted and monitored, the system still fails regulatory scrutiny. You must translate legal mandates, like HIPAA's minimum necessary rule or ABA confidentiality standards, directly into technical requirements. This requires Layer 5, the compliance wrapper. It utilizes role-based access control to ensure the AI cannot retrieve files an employee is not cleared to see. You must also maintain audit logs. The system must track who asked the question, which sources were retrieved, and when the interaction occurred. To reduce the risk of hallucinations, you implement a retrieval-grounded workflow. The model only answers using the specific snippets retrieved from your audited private index. Compliance in AI is achieved through provable, audited constraints on how the model is allowed to behave and retrieve data. You now have a completed 5-layer blueprint, from the Harbor registry at the base to the OpenWeb UI at the top. This software stack requires specialized hardware. A multi-GPU workstation can provide the power needed for a single office or small department. For an enterprise platform, you move to server racks, such as a Dell PowerEdge configured with 8 interconnected NVIDIA H100 GPUs. Alternatives like the AMD MI300X offer massive memory bandwidth, which is specifically suited for these intensive local multi-user workloads. Present this comprehensive blueprint to both your IT and legal teams to begin hardware sizing and compliance review today.